So we're going to see. We're going to see what people are saying. There should be a few people, as always. I've kind of, I haven't got there's no topic today. We're going to Q&A, basically. Anything that anyone's got going on. And there's a few bits that will probably come up in topics of conversation. But I haven't told anyone about a specific topic. So we'll see. We will see if we get our usual turnout. So let's see what happens. But we're still a little bit early. How's everything in Derrimut, Tom Rose? How's the freaking weather today? Fuck. It's cold.
It's cold.
It was 0 this morning when I went to the gym, yeah?
Yeah, it's freezing in here because I got the aircon on. So I got my puffer.
We're super cold. How's Derrimut?
That is good.
Yeah. That's
going well. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. What's on at the moment with marketing? Excuse me. What are we going to do? Are we just going to pick up those new members and that's it?
I think so, yeah. Because I feel like I'm struggling, I guess, with I don't struggle too much with the workload in terms of like not being able to give everyone 100% of me, if that makes sense. I'm worried that, I don't know, if I get too many more clients that I'm going to put maybe someone like the back foot, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
so, like, I'm
100%.
worried because I know that I don't know, sometimes I'm a bit stressed when there's lots of people I need to deal with, and they're like, I don't want to like accidentally leave someone out.
Yeah, look, I think I think today we'll just chat and then just roll with it from there, because there'll be I would have thought there'd be the normal attendees coming, but today this is a perfect sort of conversation to kick it all off with. Like, when you get to this level, right? You get to this level of being this booked, it's so freaking common, everyone stops, right? The worst thing you can ever do. If you don't continuously market, right, you're just going to go backwards. So you're better off being put under a slight bit of pressure and marketing and actually having a little bit of progression coming through, rather than just fucking stopping. It's one of my pet hates. It's really is a pet hate, and I'm not joking. Anybody who I've seen who stops, they fail every time. And then what happens is they go so far back that they have to then build again from scratch. But what happens is when you get to like 6-figure status, you kind of get to a level where, and this is my experience, right? So you kind of feel like you outgrow some of the tasks that you've done to get there, because you're no longer at that level, right? You're at a higher level. So then what happens is that you have reluctancy to build the business back up. And a lot of people then what they do is quit. And it's just such a shame. And it's all based on basically getting too content and just not being bothered to just do a tiny bit of marketing. But for us, I think the main thing is that we've got so many new members that we can just pluck off that as and when we need. Just make sure you keep hitting these little non-negotiable targets, because when you do that, the business will stabilize at over 6 figures. We can pick and choose however much we want to, take from those lists and take from the consults and that's what you'd rather be in a position like that, rather than having to kind of scratch around for growth when you actually fall back down and you're like, well, Simon, help, I need some marketing. Well, you didn't fucking do the work when I told you to do it, right? So we ain't going to get to that. And it's that simple. We just gotta obviously make sure that everything just continues to move. So always market. I think there's a nice little side topic. Always market, because when you have leads, me and Phil were talking about this, right? When you have leads, you can choose whether or not you want to get to them. Yeah. Don't ever stop marketing, whatever you do. It's like one of the biggest fucking stupid traits anyone should have. Oh yeah, I've got too many. And even when you think you've got too many leads, stop. I still wouldn't stop. There's no point. Like, you don't know when a blip is going to happen. Every single person knows that if you're on cloud 9, the next part after that is probably going to be coming back to earth. Do you know what I mean? So you're better off being consistent, being persistent, and generating leads, and just keeping on going from there. You know, like it's that simple. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully that helps. Let's just continue going on.
Let me ask you a question, Simon. So
you can't ask a question. You're not allowed to.
Yes, I'm going to.
Right. What do you want? What do you want?
So let's say that you do get to a point where you have too many for what you have. Okay. Do you just put them on a list or what?
Too many
like
what?
the leads on a list?
What? Too many
Let's say
leads?
you had too many leads. Would you just put them on a list and then eventually get back to them, or how do you handle that?
Okay, this is great. So by the way, guys, I think this is the perfect time to get stuck in. We've got a handful here today. I never announced what we're going to talk about today. The reason why is because there is no topic. Today is going to actually be a Q&A. So I haven't racked my brains to come up with a topic. Today's Q&A. It's going to summarize everything that we've discussed up until this point and anything you've got going on in your businesses right now. So that's that. Purpose, as always. Anything that is discussed, especially in a Q&A like today, just a basic Q&A, don't go and implement without running by me. That's obviously the non-negotiables of the seminar, right? Always run stuff by me first, because some people aren't ready for it. So let's go. First and foremost, waiting lists is what I would, well, first, before we get to that, if you've got a ton of leads, right? Like I was just saying there before to Tom Rose. So Tom Rose got to 6 figures. We're having a little break before we're leveraging, and we're going to do this a really cool way. So Tom Rose is she's going to be $250,000 fitness business. I would probably say in the next 4 months, 4 to 6 months max. So watch this space. Now, we were talking about generating leads. Never, ever stop, ever. If you think that you need to stop generating leads, you're kidding yourself. Right. The first thing that I would do is continue to generate leads, still do your calls. Don't break trend. Don't break habit of like time management. Like we've discussed, always budget time to do your calls. So first thing, Suzanne, book into the future. It's very lucrative. It's very lucrative to get on calls and say, cool, let's get you booked. First availability we've got is in 3 weeks.
Got you. Okay.
Right. Create lucrativeness. It puts you on a pedestal, and it's actually very, very important. Shay, I'm glad you're here for this one, brother. Hopefully you're doing well. How's the body feeling out on day 2 of 72 hard?
Yeah, body feels fine. No problems getting the 2 workouts in. The mold is opening up though. I'm already feeling it. So
yeah, you're gonna have them DOMs at the start, bro, for sure. But this is really important. Like for us, I'm glad you're here for this one. Like book into in advance. So Shay, he works with Matt and Matt Dart. There was a period when we were booking about 35 to 45 consults a week, roughly. Was that right, Shay? Roughly, thumbs up. Was that 30 to 40 or something like that? It was roughly, yeah. So the only way you can do that, so when you generate enough leads, and again, guys, this is all positive pressure to put your businesses under. Would you rather have too many leads or not enough? I think it's quite obvious, right? You would rather have too many. Put yourself under positive pressure, book them into the future. So that's what I would do, and it does create lucrativeness, yeah? Then if you find that you're like Tom Rose, right? So Tom Rose fully booked at the moment, right? Waiting for leverage. What I would do is then you can create, if you actually do say, I mean, our consults that we want to do every single week, it's the example column in the business tracker in stage 1 of the portal. It's about 8, I think it's 8 roughly. Every individual needs about 8 consults for growth. What I would be doing if I was Tom Rose is I'd strip your consults back for about 3, 4 a week, and that way you'll break even, because you will have drop-offs. And like we were saying before, for those of you who have just jumped on, if you take for granted that you're at 6 figures, you think you're going to stay there, you're kidding yourself. You will go backwards. You've got to continue growth. You've got to continue at least working to maintain. If you ain't going to put the work in, you're going to go back. So then what you do, Suzanne, is create a wait list. So if you've got people that you're that busy because you haven't stopped marketing, you keep generating the leads and at a good rate, yeah, like don't put yourself under too much pressure, right? With like going and starting a strategy where you're going to get 100 leads when you don't need any, but don't stop doing the basics, the non-negotiables, right? What I would recommend then is just create waiting lists and just say, cool, we've got a waiting list. Only dangerous with having waiting list people is that when people actually want to sign up and they're saying, here, take my money, and you're like, sorry, I've got a waiting list. Again, it's lucrative, but at the same time, they'll go and find another trainer because people are ready to take action when they're ready to throw money at you. But again, we're not driven by that here. We're here to help people. You don't sacrifice our current clientele that are existing with you to help new people and then dip the quality of service. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
How does that conversation go about when you get back and like if you do have a waiting list of leads on like people like I remember when I was booked out last time and then I had people that wanted to sign up. How do you go about that conversation when you get back in touch with them? Like, hey, I've got the space available now and all that sort of thing if X amount of time's passed.
Well, it's a great question, man. Just do exactly that. that's all. There's no point sugarcoating it. Like, just say, look, slots up, slots available. Do you want it? Let's go. Cool. Now I found another trainer. No worries. See you later. All the best. Bye. Like, I think it's one of these things. I think this one I'm looking forward to today. You kind of go off on tangents like I always do because I like to talk and ramble, but it's never always about fucking helping people too much. You're not here to just grow and grow and grow and grow. You've got to be able to take on enough workload that you can deliver results to the workload you've got, right? It's never about greed here. I like some other coaches out there, all they give a shit about is numbers and signing people up. It's not about that here. I don't recommend people take on numbers unless you can actually deliver your promise and actually follow through. Like, if you focus on numbers, you're going to crash eventually if you can't deliver the service. Do you know what I mean? It's that simple. And that gets even harder when you've got other people working for you. I mean, Shay, I think obviously we've learned recently, like with this, you know what I mean? Like getting to humongous numbers. It's not always about those numbers. We can't maintain them, right? So, you know, making sure we can deliver on that promise is the most important thing. And if people say they found another trainer or they are waiting to work with you, awesome. I think something as well to add to that, Tane, is that if people want to go and find another trainer because they can't work with you because you've got a waiting list, this is kind of like, I feel bad saying it, but it's quite nice knowing that the fitness industry is filled with people that are just shit at their job, right? It sounds so blunt and horrible, but it's the truth. Most PTs are awful at their job. So people are going to go through these shit trainers. They're going to come back to people like you lot and they're going to get good ones. And that's what will happen. And if people want to go and experiment with other trainers and stuff, welcome it. If you're driven by if you're driven by the right things, the right principles, which is knowing that you're the best trainer in your environment, knowing you're the best trainer and there's no competition, people will come to you. It's a matter of time. It's just whether or not you can be persistent and consistent enough to let that authority shine through within your marketplace. And that's what it is. Stand by what you know you are the best at, and you can never fail in life. Simple. Hopefully that answered that one. I think there was something else we were going to talk about today, Tane, wasn't there, bro?
Oh yeah. Client, like when you're saying the repetitive same shit to clients and it becomes like mentally taxing, man. Like I remember this last week I've had just like some clients have just repeated the same shit. Like, you know, you got to be more accurate with your tracking. You got to eat high quality foods, and like just felt like I was just repeating myself, and just it was getting to the point where it was like just doing my head in, more or less.
I see quite a few people smiling here. Anthony, Tom Rose nodding her head, Michael, Jack, like Alex, like fuck me, Charmaine, I think everyone here, right? Anyone hands up if you feel like you're always on autopilot with your clients? That's you guys when my hands up as well, right? So know that. I don't, right? No, look, how do you deal with that? Someone come off mute. How do you deal with that? First and foremost, mentally, how do you deal with that? Someone. It's not the me show. Everyone has something to put in.
Sometimes I go out to the back room, but then I've also had clients follow me out and then knock on the door and then take more of my attention away.
That's
Oh,
extreme.
yay.
That's like stalking. That's
Yeah. But my gym owner wants me to be on the floor working at the floor because I'm happy and I greet everyone, but then I don't get anything done.
Okay, that's a good point. We know what that's about, right? So we talked about that. Sometimes subtopic, keep that there, Tane, and if anyone was going to come off mute and talk about what we just said there, hold your thoughts. If any gym manager, right, wants you to be present where it is detrimental to the success of your own business to only benefit theirs, tell them to fuck themselves politely, right? I'm not joking, guys. There is nothing more. There is a few more things, but it's one of the worst things that pisses me off. Gym managers, and I'm speaking and venting frustration out of what Tay is going through with this one. Gym managers, when they know that they actually have amazing trainers, right, like you guys, right, that invest into consulting with amazing coaches like me, right, it's simple. They're gonna want to have you for themselves, even though they know that what you're bringing to the table is selfish for them to take advantage of, right? Don't let them take advantage of that. Now, I obviously, with that one, Tay, we've spoken about it recently, yeah? So try to distance yourself from that. We're going to get back to you in a second, Tane. This is really important, guys. Like, your guys' time, hence why we spend so much time on time management, is so valuable. I think Charmaine, like when we go into our new location, there's an element that could sneak in with this, with that contract, but they've said that they've done away with some of the clauses in there.
Yeah.
Anything where people just demand stuff or they want something from you, but tell you it's going to benefit you, it's because it's fucking benefiting them, right? They don't care about you. What Tay is going through with this one, Tay's doing really well in a business, got a staff member, like well over 6 figures. It's great, but being dragged like that, and then obviously combining that with being such a sweetheart who wants to deliver so much, to have people stalking her and following her back into the back rooms of the gym, all it's going to do is leave you in a position where you freaking struggle to get away from it, right? And it's really, honestly, it's really hard. So lay the fucking law from the offset. Do what you've got to do. Be there to benefit the members in the gym, and walk the floor. Like when you're walking the floor, you know, floor to the floor is always there with you. And you know, you can collect leads easily that way, following the floor to the floor strategy, rather than just speaking to people like monotonously, right? That all that does is annoy people. So there's a tip right there, right? If you're going to walk the floor, walk it with purpose. Otherwise, you're going to piss people off, right? But make sure you never get taken for granted, because it will waste your time. So hopefully that kind of helps a little bit. Does that make sense, guys? Like, I'm just respectful of your guys' time. Like, your time is so freaking valuable, especially for those of you like Tom Rose, you know, that are fully booked and you're trying to do everything in your power to keep the ship afloat until we leverage, of which we've got the perfect plan for. Can't wait. But, you know, being dragged in different directions is not healthy. And that's why having a great gym like Tom Rose has got. Tom Rose ain't dragged. Tane as well. This guy built his success off the managers at the gym. Tom Rose, we could say similarly, the same thing with us. When you have a great team around you, people that genuinely care about their trainers, genuinely care about them, they don't need them to be freaking spending time out on the floor. That's rubbish. That's selfish. That's because that person wants you there for them and for their gain. And realistically, if you're there or you're not, right, no matter how good all of you guys are, it doesn't make a fucking difference. Really, it doesn't. It doesn't make that big of a difference. So with Sean there, Tay, really, it doesn't make a difference.
Question on that again. What's your opinion on, like, if I'm working out on the desks but then have like headphones in? Like, I personally, because that's what, like, some salespeople do, and I think it looks rude, and that's
Yeah.
why, like, but is that okay for me to do on the gym floor?
Well, it depends. Like, are you like, you're not on shift, right? For the gym, are you working for
Oh,
the
sorry.
gym? Are
It
you
might be like in between clients or something.
Okay, so nah. Like, here's a really good one, right? And we will get back to you, Tane, in a sec, right? So this is what we do. If you're in the gym floor and you have someone, hands up if you're with a freaking client or a prospect and someone comes over to you and interrupts and wants you. Hands up if anyone's had that. I had that multiple times, right? That, first and foremost, that's downright fucking rude, first and foremost, right? It's rude. Same thing with you. If you're behind a desk, first and foremost, I like, especially you, Tay, I don't sit where you sit. I sit in the back, right? I like working on airplanes. Airplanes, they say, is the most productive place in the world to work on. You can get 3 times your work rate done. Why? Because you're in the fucking air. You can't be touched. That means that you have no distractions, basically. I wouldn't work there. Now, here's the thing, because when you are loved, Tay, in your gym, even if you've got headphones on, even if you freaking put stuff around your face, bury yourself in a box, don't come near me, right? They're going to come. They're going to come. It's not rude, but at the same time, the way to trump it is this. If anyone comes and interrupts you on the gym floor when you're with a client, with a prospect, when you're doing anything, just say you're in the middle of something politely. Always remember the two P's, professionally and politely. Always relay, I'm in the middle of something. What I can do is this. Here's my calendar. Hand them the fucking phone. Get a slot that suits you best, and I'll spend half an hour with you. How about that? Get them booked in for a consult. Bang. Then close them, and then help them and transform them. Because they're coming to you because they want something, right? They always want help with something. So what you do, right, is book them in for a consult. Here is the link, right? I'm busy. I'm here, headphones, laptop, whatever. But here's the link. Book it in. Congratulations, you've just got less of a pain in the ass and you've just got a consult. Does that make sense? Best way. Like, and it's really hard though, Tate, for someone, again, like yourself, and for what I used to be like as well. I used to bend over backwards for everybody. Don't value your time. People like you, Tay, right? It's the same as like Jack spending countless hours programming, right? Don't know why I had that brainwave, but anyone that's spending as many hours as Jack is on programming, stop it, right? So, but anyone who spends the amount of time helping people like you do, right? You got to try and remember what your time is starting to be valued at, because where you're going in the future is it's multiple 6-figure business status. And I'm sorry, helping people out on the gym floor, which is not going to benefit you, right? For someone else who all they care about is a freaking $12.95 membership for a gym membership. And, oh, if you're not there, Tay, I'm going to lose all my freaking members. That's rubbish. Like I said, it doesn't matter if you're there or you're not. Just be aware of your time. Michael?
Yeah, just on what Tay's saying about like them expecting you to do more stuff for them. Like, at the end of the day, they got to realize you don't work for them.
That's correct.
So I've had a few gyms that I've worked at, and they seem, the owners and the managers seem to forget that it's my business. I'm paying them rent to be there. Like my last one, I was paying them 20 grand a year just for rent. And the owner was telling me what I could charge people.
Yeah.
So you got to get to that point where you're like, I'm prepared to walk if I need to. And if you take a hit for a bit, you take a hit and rebuild your business.
It's very humbling coming from you, man. I'm telling you, like we've recently relocated your business, haven't we, bro? And it's one of those ones where I'm not joking. Like Jono, this is what we're talking about as well, right? Recently. If you got to move, you got to move. Like, yeah, okay. When you move,
how much you value yourself.
That's it. Amen. A fucking man, right? Do you know what I'm saying? Like this stuff here. The thing is, right? You, Michael, perfectly, because you're off mute, right? Tane, we'll get back to you soon. Yeah. So, cash flow quadrant, right? Does anyone not know what the cash flow quadrant is? Be honest. Okay, so there's it's here. So basically, this book, if anyone hasn't read this book, go and read it, right? This is like life-changing shit. You're laughing, Suzanne. Have you seen it before? You read it? Yeah? Okay, right. So life-changing shit. That flows into this book, right? Have you read this one, Suzanne? Okay, read this one. This is really cool. And I actually need to pick it up because I'm only a little bit of the way through it. It was too overwhelming for me. It was too good. So I had to stop. The cash flow quadrant, right? What it talks about is employees, right? So you got a quadrant like this, four corners, E and S, okay? And then B and I, correct, Michael? Yeah. E is employee, S is small business. Across the quadrant, you have then B for business and I for investor. The side of the quadrant you always want to try and aim towards to be on is B and I, right? Everyone on this call is in S quadrant. Small business, the difference between S quadrant, small business, and B quadrant, which is business, is can you walk away from your business today and expect that when you come back off a year-long holiday, that your business will still be moving and generating income and have grown? If you all walked away from your business today, would it grow? No. So you're in an S quadrant. I still, to this day, I'm in an S quadrant. I'm transitioning into a B quadrant, right? It's one of the hardest things. And this is my point. People in an S quadrant, and this relates to gym managers, because a lot of them, have you found out that the owners, sometimes they work in the gyms, right? Or they're very, very present, right? Anyone relate to that? You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, okay, yeah, why? They should be fucking B quadrant. Leverage, right? Should leverage it. This is advanced stuff, right? But the thing is, one of the traits of an S quadrant person, I put my hands up, I have this trait. And when I read this in the book, I actually laughed out loud. I laughed out loud because it was so true. S quadrant people struggle to give up control, and they always like to have power. Put your hand up if you like to have control of your business, right? We all do. You know where I'm going with this, Michael, right? You can relate to it. So it's one of these things. They don't control your business. Going back to what Michael's saying, they don't. But the thing is that they love to have control over it because they are S quadrant minded, whereas B quadrant people, and then you have the elite, which is I quadrant, which is where I personally want to get to, where you have a lot of money that you can invest. And you're investing. So you invest in property, you invest in businesses, you buy businesses, and you basically are unattached to money, which is very hard for a lot of people to become unattached from dollars. You need to look at dollars like numbers, right? To be an I quadrant. But this B quadrant, so hard. When you could, and this is why, ironically, E and S, B and I, they're on separate sides, because to transition across sides of the quadrant is fucking hard. Really hard. So these guys, like Michael said, they don't own your business, but they love to have control. I think I did quite a good job of giving that yeah. So hopefully that makes sense. And Michael said, they don't own your business. If you need to get out, because people like you guys on this call, you don't quit, you don't stop, you're always going to win. Right? And it's that simple. That makes sense. And anyone not understand those quadrants? And by the way, this is all you need today, guys. Just that right there. If you haven't read these, Suzanne, what's your thoughts on the book? Because I know Michael's. We've talked about it before in the past. Suzanne, do you like Robert Kiyosaki?
No, I read that one gosh, way back when he wrote it. It's been years.
Yeah.
And it was before I even had the gym thing, because I was I had another small business going on, and that's when I read it. So it's been a long time since I read it, but just the fact that you brought that out, it just was, oh yeah, I did read that one, but I honestly don't remember a lot. He just went against everything that I had thought about, to be honest with you.
There you go.
He was like the opposite. And it was like, wow, really?
There you go.
But I couldn't really converse with you about it because I don't remember.
Yeah, no, that's was it a positive experience reading the book, or it sounds
Yes,
like
no, definitely. He made me think without a doubt because it was the opposite of what I grew up thinking.
Yeah. I'm not joking, guys. Here's what I'm gonna do. This is how fucking passionate I am about this. If anyone wants a copy of this book, message me and I'll buy you a copy and I'll send it to your house. That's how I'm not joking. Like I'm on that level with this shit. I'm not like, I bought this book for a lot of people, and this book is phenomenal. There's a reason why it is, where is it? The #1 personal finance book of all time for 20 years. Like I'm telling you, it's on that level. All right. I'm glad that there's only 15 people on the call, because otherwise I'd be fucking broke, but there we go. Like, so, like, but I'm not joking. This here is insane. Now, this is where we're going to get deep. Tane, we'll get to your question again soon, brother, right? So this is where we're going to get deep. This here, right? If you can read this book and relate to what Robert Kiyosaki says, it shows that you're operating on a very, very, without being biased, it shows you're operating on a very, very intellectual level when it comes to business and finances. If you read the book, and I hope Kelly won't mind me saying this, if you read the book and you find that you either can't relate or disagree with it, right? It will change you. It will really change you. Lockie, I'm fucking glad you're here listening to this, bro, because you need to read shit like this, bro. I'm telling you, man, this is like, I could actually cry some of the shit in that book that I read. And I can remember when I would, Morgs, take off your, to put your camera on. I don't know whether you can or not, Morgs, but you probably read this book. Like, I remember actually laughing out loud. It was so freaking powerful. And I can't say anything else other than that. I love the book. And I've only read 5 books in my whole life. I don't do personal development. I don't read books. Yesterday, I actually watched, everyone knows Think and Grow Rich, right? The book, you've heard of Think and Grow Rich. You know, they released a movie about that. Has anyone seen the Facebook ad pop up on their story on Facebook? Have you seen? Yeah, I bought it yesterday and I watched it. So I was like, fuck, I'll buy it. Because I know that Think and Grow Rich, that's not going to be a scam. And I bought it, and the movie's fine. It's good. This is a million times better. And The Secret for me is better than Think and Grow Rich. But The Secret's a better movie, but yeah.
The Secret was great.
The Secret's
That's a great
phenomenal book. Shit.
Great book. Yes.
Phenomenal. Telling you,
Yes.
if you combine Think and Grow Rich with Rich Dad Poor Dad and The Secret, you will change your life. I'm telling you, it's fucking insane.
That Bob Proctor, that's in that movie. I went to a seminar years ago in Brisbane where he was the speaker, and it was a free seminar.
Yeah. And
he was telling us he was doing $1 million a day of income with over 1,000 different income streams.
Fucking insane. I'm telling you. But the thing is, as well, is that guy, he speaks it into reality. And this is the thing, it's quite hard for a lot of people to talk about this, but I'm glad obviously you've got loads of you on here that can. Like I said to you, and I think, like I said, Suzanne won't mind me saying, like, if you read this and you can relate to it, because I, not being big-headed, but I was reading all of it with a smile on my face going, like, I think like this. Like, I actually think like this personally. And it's not bragging, but I do. And it was like really reaffirming for me, but I also took a lot away. But Suzanne saying, I can remember, he was basically telling me everything that was opposite to what I wanted to do, which is a shit American accent, right? But anyway, so that is for the best thing. That's the best thing. It was like the opposite to what I thought. It's enlightening. It's really enlightening. And I want, like, if you guys can get that enlightenment from that book, honestly, it's freaking insane. And so if you want a copy, like, no shit, like, either buy one yourself, but if you really want me to buy you one, I'll buy you one. So I'll buy you one. Yeah, and then like anything law of attraction based, The Secret, it was on Netflix, but I think they've taken it off. Too goddamn powerful. That's why it's too powerful. Here's the thing about The Secret. Did anyone know about The Secret? When they launched it back in like 2098 or whatever it was, or 92. It was a long time ago. They didn't show it. It didn't show it on TV until after 11 p.m. at night. Do you know why they didn't do that? It's because it was they didn't want people to watch it. It's too powerful. It's too powerful. If you haven't seen it, has anyone not seen The Secret? Be honest, like you, fuck, Tane, you'll love that. You'll froth that shit. Charmaine as well. Jesus, The Secret's phenomenal. This shit changed. Honestly, I actually owe a lot of my life to that. I'm not. Stories for days about this shit. Literally, insane stuff happens when you watch that stuff. But it's quite hard to break the narrative of the way that you think. Like you said, Suzanne, like it was like everything opposite to what I thought. But then it makes you think, and then you actually see things that happen where you can actually relate to that, and you're like, oh, maybe there is some sense to it. Law of Attraction, The Secret, changed my life, that shit, big time. So anyway, watch The Secret, guys. That was a nice little 10-minute motivational pitch there. Tane, let's bring the level down a bit because I'm going to get quite angry now with this next thing. So Tane, let's get back to what you were saying. I'm going to get quite stern now. I think Tane brought something up this morning that I said, save this for the seminar because it's fucking important. Bro, fill everyone in. What was it again? We said about having to deal with people monotonously, right?
Yeah, just feeling like you're saying the same stuff over and over, and like just getting to the point where it like becomes emotionally taxing, you know? I think it, like for me in that as well, like other people can probably relate, it's when like people's goals exceed their willingness to work for them. Like you've got the goals of a fucking athlete and you've got the habits of a slob. Like
I love that shit. That's quality.
You know, and then it's frustrating because like, you know, like we all love our clients. Like you want to see them succeed. You want to see them push. You want to see them grow. And like you're that invested in it. And then it's like, man, all you got to do is like walk more, eat a little bit healthier, maybe substitute this food for that food. And then they come in the next week or the next session and they've just done the same shit. They've sat there and like, yes. And then they come in and they're like, oh, you know, like, I don't know. And then it's just, you know, and like I can deal with it every now and then, but you get a few like consecutive sessions or a few consecutive clients doing it over and over. And after a while, it just becomes fucking draining, man.
The majority of people in the fitness industry in a Gen Pop face-to-face personal training environment you are going to deal with will be exactly like Tane has just highlighted. Has anyone had a client like that before? Where they fucking drain your life? Anthony, you're telling me that you haven't? That's a lie, straight up. I know you have. Lockie, you ever had clients that whinge like that? They like every person here would have dealt with that, right? Question is, how do you deal with it?
Simon, you know what I did because I was with him and you get frustrated like that? I did what you suggested. And now we have those, what did you call it? Like nice punishments or something? I don't know what adjective you used before the punishment thing. And let me tell you, we do that. Yes. And it's like, okay, guys, if you don't do that, then we get our nice little punishment. And I've seen them take it a little more serious.
Okay,
yes.
I was going to say, I think it would sound a lot nicer coming from you than it would from me because I'm quite...
Right? No,
that's not true.
She
has a very stern personality.
That's good. That's right. And stern, Cal, stern is the word that I said to you this morning, Tane, right? Pretty much. So Kelly, that document there, and for anyone here, I don't think there's anyone here that's not using it, right? It is mandatorily important that you use it in your fitness business. I don't care at all what anybody says. This little sheet that I put together 6 years ago, without that sheet, I wouldn't be able to coach people to multiple six figures. The reason why is because it enables at scale, it enables trainers underneath you to hold clients accountable. But we don't need to go to that level. We just need to talk about holding clients accountable. When clients have no accountability, they won't change. Would you agree? Right? If you allow them to dominate you, then they're in control. right? Which means they're not going to change. So you need to hold clients accountable, and the PT session log is the first way you've got to do that. And this document, if you're not using it in your fitness business right now, I don't think there's anyone here that isn't. Hard for you to use this online, by the way. You can't, because at the end of the day, online, like I've said, you attract different caliber clientele. Only elite people will work with people online, people that don't need to have their hand held in the gym. Now, this PT session log, if you don't use, your business will fail at some point. It will fail. I've coached enough people to prove this right. So you've noticed, Suzanne, that holding people accountable by setting a friendly, which is the key word, friendly punishment, holds people accountable to taking action. The reason why is because the most important time that they spend is not the 1% of the time of the week in the gym with you. It is the 99% of the time outside of the gym. Would you agree with that, everyone? Right? Simple. So what this does, and I came up with this a long time ago, is it simply makes them think about the punishment that they've agreed mutually with you, the trainer, to carry out if they don't achieve their little step in the right direction. And that's what we've said this morning, Tanya, as well. If the goal's too big, strip it back. There's a lot of people that don't take action. You have to kind of, okay, look at the goal. Are they trying to lose 60 kilos? And they can't even get the first 5, well, break it down into 6, 10 kilo increments, right? That's a really big tip. But the main thing is that if you have a punishment set where you get them using your clever language and nodding your head like I'm doing now to agree that, okay, I know like last session, Suzanne, you hated doing some burpees. So we're going to do 100 burpees if you can't lose 3 pounds this week. Right. And you always, you want to set these goals. Like I've had clients in the past go, okay, 10 push-ups, that's your punishment. Look, I tell you, every one of you, everyone on here would drop down and do 10 push-ups now like it's fucking breathing. Do you know what I mean? It's not a punishment. So you've actually got to hold people accountable by giving them something they do not enjoy, but make it fun. Like I said, Suzanne, you hated those burpees last week. You did 15 of them. Well, what we're going to do is 150 of them. If you can show me that you can't lose 2 pounds. Sound good? I think that look how fun this is going to be. And they're like, oh my God, all right. I guarantee you they will lose 2 pounds. Guarantee. Why? Because they don't want to do the burpees. If you're not authoritative with your clients, getting back to what we were saying, China, this morning, authority, right, is everything for a personal trainer, professionally and politely, right? Always. I shouldn't even have to say it anymore. You guys know, professionally and politely, right?
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So there were 2 clients that I actually had to let go because I was tired of their shit. And I basically moved everything. Yeah, I was so happy about that I actually did that. And now we're starting to see where, okay, so all my clients have been making changes. Like they're doing pretty well. And then I have one that I just signed on and she's been with me for 2 weeks and she's like, hey, I can no longer afford it. So I'm going to be done. And I was fucking pissed. Like, I'm going to be honest.
Well done.
And do I set like contracts with them or like, you know, for the people that I have currently? Cause I'm like getting to the point where it's fucking pissing me off that I give my time to these people and then they don't do shit about it or they take advantage of me and I'm over it.
Okay.
So I don't know what to do.
This is the shit right here. First and foremost, contracts, yes. But I always recommend people like no locking contracts, right? Shay, we've reverted right back to that after split testing this for a fucking long time, right? So like with Magnum and stuff like that, with Shay, who manages Magnum for Matt. Matt's about to have a baby, by the way, guys. So let's all give him some round of applause there for that. So that's why he's not here. So we've reverted back to my original, after should be sticking to the original thing anyway, like that I know works. No locking contracts are beneficial because they're easy to sell, which builds trust and rapport, but they'll only work if right from the get-go, you get on top of your clients and you get them to change. You've got to get them to change quick, right? And the way in which you'll do this is using the PT session log. And questioning that you've done in the close and when you've done your consults, and finding what they struggle with the most, why haven't they got to the results before, and what right? You've got to get them to, you should be able to grasp whether it's nutrition, motivation, lack of education, training, whatever, accountability, whatever it is. You got to pounce on that quick. Set a really manageable small goal, and then set a relative punishment towards that to make them accountable to doing it. But this small goal, for example, if it's nutrition, right? This goal would be, I want you to please log one meal. One fucking meal. I don't want a week, right? A lot of people won't do it. Telling me, oh, I've got to be one of those bodybuilders who's got to weigh their food. Well, fucking, what do you want to do? What do you want to do here, right? I can guarantee pretty much all of you guys in here, if you got chicken breasts, right, and put it on a plate, you'd probably be able to get it within 10 to 20 grams, right? The reason why is because we've all weighed our food and we know what that shit is. It's in your mind. So for these guys, like, we're doing it on autopilot. I log my food at the moment. Everyone here probably logs food and macros, whatever. It's easy for us, right? You've got to get these guys to take the first step. It's the first step. That's all it has to be. So get them to do one thing and then praise that, show praise, and then put the next thing. But when you give praise, you give them a hell of a lot of it. But also then combine that with forecasting forward and say, you've just done one meal. The goal now for this next week is one day. I guarantee when you log a day, you're going to be so overwhelmed with enlightenment as to what is actually going wrong with the food based on the education that I'm providing you in my members portal, Tane, that we spoke about this morning, right? So if you want to educate people about how to log nutrition, how to track food in MyFitnessPal, how to use MyFitnessPal, how to do all that, video training should be provided to your clients on this. A video can be watched by billions of people. There is not enough time in the universe for you to explain to a billion people without taking a gun and shooting yourself in the head because of the monotonous that we talked about with Tane, by trying to explaining it to a billion people a billion times over, right? So take the education, put it into a portal, but then also forecast forward so that they're always seeing the progression and they're relating that to where they started. So hopefully, does that kind of make sense a bit, Kel? You've got to really break any goal down to a really, really small incremental steps, break it down into small incremental steps, and then praise them for taking the first of many mini steps.
So I completely felt like I did that with her. I was so caught off guard. Because we were doing things, and you know, she was super thin, so she wanted to build more muscle, and so we're working with that. And I actually did see a change in her, and then I completely just got like whiplashed. I mean, I lost 5 clients in just this last week, and so I feel like I just got knocked the F out, but I don't know. I'm stressed.
It's hard. I don't, like, that explains your message of like, get me some clients now. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? We haven't even started marketing them. So now it makes sense. And the answer is no. This shit takes time, right? It takes time. Told you, girls. So with this being said, look, this can happen. Sometimes you can get hit in the face. Phil always comes onto these fucking webinars at the perfect time. I'm telling you, how many times, Phil, have you gone, fuck, bro, I'm fucking done here. I'm gone. I'm fucking quitting. Because he's lost like 7, 8, 9 clients in a week. And then next week, he's like, it's all good, bro. I just signed up 20 sessions. And I'm like, I know exactly what you're going to do that anyway. You're always going to rebound. So we're going to rebound for you girls too. But it's like, these hits, right? They're quite hard to take. And obviously, because it relates to finances, right? To get to a stage where you don't care about losing clients because you don't care about the money, that's the level I'm trying to get all of you guys to. You like, here's the fucking door, right? And that's why I said to you before, it's amazing to see that you let go of the clients, because that's amazing. It's not about money here, guys. If you're chasing money, you're doomed from the outset, right? But naturally so, you are going to want to chase it in the beginning because we're starting to grow our business, right? And we talked about that before, Alex, right? Simple. So like, yeah, I think hold people accountable with the PT session log. Tell people what they need to hear and not necessarily what they want to hear. Anyone, I read within half a second when you said this girl wanted to gain muscle. I got a whole story for it in half a second. She's too lazy, not persistent and consistent. She didn't see enough results, so she thought she had to quit. That's exactly what happened to her. Telling you, period. So what you've got to do with these types of people, and like I said, gen population, this is what's going to happen with these guys. You need to reassure them. And this is me coaching you how to be a PT. And like, I'm a business consultant, but this stuff is so important. I'm really glad this topic's come up, because so many PT, this is why PTs are rubbish most of the time, because they don't care enough about the clients to make them want to change. They really don't. Tane, we were talking before about the guy who I coached, who was 12 years old. He was 120 kilos, right? Not for you guys in the States. So 250 pounds at 12. I coached this guy. When you've got kids, so this is relating to what we were saying again, right? Tane, this morning, kids, who cooks the fucking food? The parents, right? I took this kid on, right? And whenever, man, oh no, it's like emotional. Like, when I work with young kids, I aspire them, and if any, like, because you know when you've got little kids around you and you're like cool, you're cooler because you're older, right? They kind of like look up to you. Like, I took this guy, right, and I had to go in pretty hard on the parent. And eventually the parent snapped out of the fucking bubble of KFC that he was consuming, right? And anyway, cut a long story short, he ended up losing 40 kilos. The mother ended up becoming the cleaner of this house. She cleans this house I'm in today. This is the secret right here, guys. The fucking law of attraction. I'm not playing around here. This is goosebump shit. And the only reason why it happened is because I told the mum what she needed to hear and not what she wanted to hear, right? Sometimes, whether it's the parent or the client, you need to tell them, but you've got to tell them professionally and politely, like I keep saying. And then, ironically, as soon as those first 5 kilos happen, the rest is fucking history. And there is some training that I used to deliver called the 5 kilos are the most important. And I always used to think and feel like if I could get people on a weight loss journey to lose the first, even 3, I think 3 is kind of a tipping point, because you can't kind of lose 3 kilos overnight. I mean, you can, but 3 or 4, but 5 is like 10 pounds, right? It's a good number where you fucking break the camel's back. And when it's broken, you begin gliding towards success with that client. And it's because you changed what's in here. It's nothing else. It's all in the fucking mind. It's all in their head. And that, again, the mind, it relates back to the law of attraction, the secret. I'm telling you, this stuff it's a game. Like when you complete this game, it's too easy. It's too easy, but you've got to believe in yourself. Lucky, this is for you, bro, right? You have to figure out what's in here, and you ask yourself the question, how far are you prepared to go with your clients? How far are you prepared to take what they need? And even though it frustrates you so much, Tane, how far are you prepared to go to get to the bottom of what they need until the fucking straw breaks, right, on that camel's back? And I'm telling you, when it does, they're a client for life, and they end up becoming a cleaner for your house too. And it's that simple. Hopefully that kind of inspired people. I should have been on a stage, I feel, there, like saying that. I felt like quite inspiring. But does that make sense? Like you've got to fucking go above and beyond, man. You have to. You really have to. That's why with you guys, anyone's got anything that needs to be got to the bottom of, you challenge me, because I ain't ever backing down. I'll find a way to get it through to you. I'll find a way. And it will take some time sometimes, but we'll find a way. But yeah, members area, side note. So on that one, anything that's automatable in terms of like content, guys, put a video together, especially about nutrition. One of the main thing, guys, what's going to get people in shape? Training or nutrition? nutrition, right? We know that. Always nutrition. Put together training on MyFitnessPal screen recording of how to log MyFitnessPal nutrition, how to log your nutrition on MyFitnessPal correctly, Tane, as well is the question. Because you were saying that what were you saying, bro?
There was just like, you know, like say you have like a chicken, I'll give an example. I made a post about it. But like instead of putting in like for a chicken and salad roll that they're making at home, you know, they'll just search like chicken and salad roll. It's like, bro, how much mayo are you using? How much butter are you using? Like,
yeah,
that's cheesy. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're dead right. And I think, look, I always said to people, so this is a tip for anyone who wants to record their video, always log one ingredient foods. So for me, every morning I have bacon and eggs every time with toast. So I just part of my macros, and it's a meal that just fucking works for me. I feel amazing after eating it. So I don't type in though, bacon and egg sandwich. I put bread, scan the barcode, 2 pieces. Bacon, scan the barcode, weigh it, 130 grams every time to a T, because I know the macros, I know it's what I need. Weigh it, that's 4 slices of bacon, which is the lowest fat bacon that you can get, right? Then it's 2 eggs. Scan the pack. Otherwise, for eggs, banana, apple, you just go 1 medium, large, small, right? That's huge right there. Rather than most people will be like, oh, I had a bacon and egg sandwich. Type in bacon and egg sandwiches, type the first thing that's in the top. The only thing about MyFitnessPal, which ruins the app, and I think they've stopped it now, is that you used to be able to input data that then every single other motherfucker in the world could access and use to represent the food that they're eating, when it is nothing remotely close to it. Nothing remotely close. And even the stuff with the green ticks, you know, green ticks on MyFitnessPal as well. A lot of that's rubbish as well. Look at it. Has ever seen a green tick with chicken with 20 grams of carbs in it? Are you killing me? Are you like, what the hell is that? Why are they even approving that? And for everyone here that doesn't know much about nutrition, chicken doesn't have carbs in it, right? So, you know, like, this is the thing. When you can explain it to your clients, right, it will be a game changer. Subnote, I have told people that there are 2 types of PT before. Is that correct? Does anyone know what I'm about to say? The 2 types of PT? Has anyone not heard me say this before? Put your hand up. Cool, here we go. There's physical trainers and there are personal trainers. Most people in the world are physical trainers. Sit on that bench press, seated chest press, go like this, right? Sit on that machine, do this while they're like this. Yeah, do a few more there, yeah? Okay, cool, yeah. Sweet, give me the cash and then see you later, right? 2 types of PTs. Personal trainers are what we are here, right? Personal. You do physical elements, but personal training. The 5 minutes, right? And I don't care, the 5 minutes is what it usually takes. At the start of your half-an-hour personal training sessions are the most important 5 minutes of that whole entire half an hour. I don't care if it goes on for the entire half an hour. When you sit down and you educate people about what I've just told you about MyFitnessPal, that could be the straw that breaks your client's back. I have had that many sit downs with people who have cried their eyes out to me. Anyone had a client cry to them before? Right? It's quite common, right? I've had people cry their fucking eyes out to me because they don't know what's going on. I sit down, I say, today's session, we're going to the office, right? Most people instantly go, yeah, but what about the PT session? It's not a physical session. It's not physical. If you train people physically, you're never going to get to them personally, right? This has been a really good seminar. That's my head's just telling me that today. So it's not physical, it's personal. Sit them down, educate them. Educate them about what they're doing with the nutrition. Break down with the logging, what they're doing. The next session, every single time, right? Every single time. First and foremost, at the end of that session, people said, the client said to me, Simon, this is what I needed this. I needed to sit down. I was like, have you got clarity now? Yes. Okay, cool. Today, that's your session. Don't do that for free, guys, because when they come back, they lose 3 kilos in a week, right? It was the straw that broke the camel's fucking back. Take the time in your personal training sessions, because that's what PT really does stand for, right? Not physical trainers, personal trainers. Don't be afraid to use the half an hour that you spend with clients, educating them about the nutrition and the mindset that they need to lose the weight or to gain the muscle. Does that make sense? I'm telling you, game changer, that shit. But the worst thing is, and I know for a fact, there'll be even some people on here that will do that on top of the PT session, right? You don't, and I knew that's you, Tay. You fucking stop doing that. I'm telling you right now, girl, you're wasting your time and you are over delivering. You know what people, what happens there as well, ironically, is that those are the people that will take that and then go, bye, see you later. And then they quit. I'm telling you, the irony in it, it's not even funny. Get them to value the session. Like I said before as well, like Alex, we talked about this before. Deliver with confidence, right? Belief and a sense of authority. Your time is worth what you're charging. So when these people need this sort of conversation to take place, because otherwise they are leaving, guys. Simple as that. And Kelly, ironically, what happened to that girl? She left, right? And then 4 others did too. And it's not easy to hear that. You sit down, you have that conversation with those 6 people or 5 people that just left. I guarantee you they don't leave. They don't. They don't. Some will, because not all people are nice out there and they really don't care about you. That's another thing which is hard for a lot of people to hear. Your clients don't give a shit about you. Like they really don't. And the thing is, clients will always come and go. Leads are endless, so you'll always get more. But you've got to remember how to distance yourself and keep yourself, you know, not giving a shit like we talk about, Michael, right? Don't over care about your clients or prospects more than they care about it them fucking selves.
I was just having a chuckle there because it sounded like listening to my wife.
Yeah.
Clients don't give a shit about you. They'll piss off and leave whenever.
Right? Telling you. But
I hate it when she's right.
Yeah, yeah. Ryan, you're more than welcome, brother. No problem, dude. So, like, look, I'm telling you guys, you gotta be awake to this, right? It's like the most eye-opening shit ever. Your clients don't care about you. Personal training's not about the gym, it's about what's in here. What I charge is 150, like James Trenner, who's not here today. I don't know where James is. I charge 150 for half an hour to sit you down and do no working out, right? All these things. That's what makes a fucking PT. The best PTs. Everyone here knows how to throw weights around. Fuck, guys. Most of the clients that come to you, they know how to do that shit as well. They're coming to you because they need something else. You got to find out what that is. You got to deliver it for them. You have to do that. If you don't, and if you think you can just keep putting people through physical training sessions, God Almighty, you are screwed. You are so screwed, and you won't even realize it until you grow to a big level. And this is when it unfortunately happens. One of my top achievers in the UK, Michael, absolute beast of a trainer, so good. He took off, right? Does like £250,000, right? Huge level business, right? For a PT. I'm telling you, this guy, when it crumbled, right, it fucking killed him. It broke him. And he is a big boy and he's strong as an ox, this guy. He's a tank. It freaking broke his heart. And it's because he grew too quick. Growing too quick is something that's quite common, actually. When you work with me, like not being big-headed, but it's true. Like, I think, as we know, Tom Rowe's done it recently. But Magnum with Shay, Matt, fuck, man, like they had 700K they got to in 18 months. So but it's too quick. Remember to deliver unbreakable, undeniable value so that your clients are getting the results that they pay for. And you've got to ask yourself, what do I have to do? Because if you're asking, if it's a question of, shall I do it? Well, you're screwed because you shouldn't be a PT then. You got to go over and above and beyond for your clients and ask yourself, what do I have to do to get into these guys' heads to show them how to succeed and achieve? Hopefully that motivated and made sense. I like that, Tay. I like that. Tay's got a bit of a flu at the moment, so well done for she's got a flu at the moment. Well done for showing up. Oh, any other questions, guys? That's yeah, that was quite an inspirational chat there. But yeah, any other questions about anything? I got all the time in the world for you guys because you care about your clients, Simon. That's why you don't go until everyone's finished. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Kel, Suzanne, Tane. The members area is really important as well. If you want to set one up, if you want to do it, ClickFunnels, go into the portal, get the 14-day trial. I'll give you the free template. Put in there stuff like your members, your MyFitnessPal training and how to use MyFitnessPal. Everything really kind of begins to fail and starts going downhill 5 minutes after people log into MyFitnessPal because they don't have the proper guidance. And then what happens is trainers that are too good to their clients, like Tay, will go, all right, half an hour personal training session, but I'll do half an hour of education on MyFitnessPal and then 2 hours PT and I'll give you 5 times as long as what you should have. Don't fucking do that. So make them pay for your time. If the education is so important, it's more important than going, yeah, fuck me, come on, lifting weights, go and do that session on their own. Tell them to go and jump on a treadmill afterwards and burn some calories. They've burnt calories and they've learned. And you're the teacher. Simple as that. Questions about anything else, guys? Anything and anything of anyone's businesses at all, because today is Q&A.
I mean, this isn't really a question, but as just something that I've been doing for a lot of my clients that aren't quite ready to track macros, is I used to get them like an A4 book, but that was a waste of time because it would just fall apart. And then I've been recommending them to go to Kmart and just getting like one of the ones from Kmart. And that's where like I start them, because a lot of the people that I get very new to the gym, very like anxious and gym anxiety, but they want to obviously start somewhere. And I'm like, okay, well, at least this is somewhere kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. That's really cool. Right. But they forget the book sometimes. Is that correct? Yeah, of course it is. Can tell I've been a PT in the past, right? Like this is where you can do that, Tay. It's completely fine. Like my wife, she competed, she won Angels category and came 4th out of 26 in IMBA or something like that over here. She used paper diary the whole time. And with my PT, these guys actually inspired me to become a personal trainer. There's law of attraction again. There you go. My wife does a bikini competition. Next minute, I'm coaching you lot. That's how the world works. But that was all paper. But I remember avidly, if I had a cheat meal, I'd just say, oh, shit, I'll fucking leave this here today. I won't bring this in after. Hector, sorry, brother. That was with Hector, Phil. That was when I trained with Hector. Hector, sorry, bro. I forgot my food diary. And he'd look at me going, yeah, okay. All right. 200 burpees, right? But no, like, you know, you can do that with them, but then just make sure, use the PT session log, punish them if they don't bring it. Because to be honest with you, if I'm being the blunt Simon that we all know I am, I wouldn't do that. I'd just be like, you're using the app, and if you need to, I'll show you half an hour how to use it, right? And you will use that as your paid session, not on top. But then again, the content in the portal should automate all this for you guys, and it adds more value to your sessions. Yeah. So that's that one. Anything else? Tane, did we speak about your question in the end, bro, or did we end up getting there? Yeah, we answered that. Is there anything else on that stuff before, bro? It's just being hard with your clients, but polite. They want it. They want it from you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me as well, like, it's not accepting like, oh, I was sick, oh, I couldn't do this, like, oh, you know, like this stuff come up, and it's just like not just drawing the line like that shit doesn't matter. Like, look, that sucks, but you got to find a way to get the stuff done. Otherwise, we're not going to get you to that point. I think that's where I just have to be that authority, like you said.
What are excuses?
Draw that line there.
What are excuses to cover up for?
Lack of priority, yeah.
With anything in life. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, anyone tells you an excuse about anything, it's a lack of priority.
So I do have one situation. Funny that today's chat is about exactly what's happening. literally yesterday it happened to me. So there was a client that signed up, and basically she went on the elite package, so customized plans, meal plans, everything, full service. And then when the payment came through, she wanted me to justify why the payment was that. And I said, well, this is what it is, blah, 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 explained everything to her, sent the emails to her of the package, everything, clarified everything to her. And it took her about a week or two to actually watch the videos I sent her, set everything up, reply back to her trainer about booking in sessions. So that was finally sorted. So this client decided to still email me and say, Phil, I don't feel I'm going to be, I would rather use the internet email. I don't like to use Voxer because that is not my format. This is not my platform. I understand that's your platform, but I'm a very busy person, so I won't be able to use this. I won't be able to use that. I'm like, okay. So I explained everything to her and said, look, this is super important. If you don't use Voxer, you're not going to get results. Told her straight out. This is the platform that I run my structure, and always has been that structure. This is the process. This has always been like that. It works well for our clients, and this is so we can give you the best results. If you don't use all these, if you don't use this to the best of your ability, you're not going to get the best results. And then it doesn't look good for you, doesn't look good for us. So I explained to her about doing the check-in messages, right? Figured this is where it gets funny. So I explained to her about the check-in messages through Voxer. She emails me the answers to it through Voxer when I've still told her, do it through Voxer. And then in the final couple of emails yesterday, she said, I'm not going to use the portal. I don't have time to use the portal. I don't have time to use this, use that. So this is where it gets even more interesting, because then I got home and I said, I'm not fucking going out of my way to cut my Voxer time short just to get home and sit in front of the email just to reply back to her check-ins. Fuck no, I'm not doing that. So I said, what makes this person special? Especially because she's asked to go back to the basic gold package after I've given her the customized plan. So she's just reaped me off those plans, right? So I'm like, no, this chick is pretty smart. So I'm going to be smarter than her. So what I did is I emailed her, and guys, this is where it does get, this is where you guys need to also put your foot down. Because I emailed her, said, look, I don't feel this is the right thing for you. We are not the right PT company for you, because unfortunately, this is my structure, and I'm sorry, but this is the way it has to be run, and it works well. And I made it all about her. I made it all about benefiting her. And if she's not going to use it, then I'm sorry, we aren't the right PT company for you. So I said, I'm going to give you your plan. I'm going to cancel my membership, our services to you. So that's what you're entitled to. I'm going to give you that. So the funny thing is, I went onto the portal, and figuring that she actually said that she didn't have time to use it. She's 79% active on it. And I was just like, wow, I don't have time for the portal. Fuck off, you don't have time for the portal. And then every time she was messaging me, she was messaging me on Voxer and saying, Phil, I've replied on email. I'm thinking, why don't you just talk on Voxer? It's right there, you're using it. So guys, don't be afraid to put your foot down. And if you know that you've done everything you can to help this client, and they don't want to follow your structure that every other client is using and getting results from. And if you have a client that's making you feel like you have to go out of your way just to please one person, don't do it, because you're gonna end up focusing on other things where the majority of clients are the most important things. And you're gonna get clients that are gonna break your balls, but do as much as you can for them. But if you feel like they're taking you for a ride, don't be afraid to put your foot down. So I just wanted to share that. It's funny, coincidentally, just happened in the last 24 hours. So
yeah, I love that. I think something as well on top of that, which is always really reassuring to know, anyone can come and take all of your training from your portal.
Yeah, that's what she did.
Right? Let them, because they won't use it. I'm telling you. Yeah. I'm right now, I am guaranteeing you they won't use it. So what they're thinking is, I'll come in, I'll get this meal plan, I'll get the training plan. Yep. I'm looking for it to be something different than what I've seen before from so many other people, right? You're welcome, Lockie, no problem, right? So many people, right? oh, it's going to be something different, when it's not, because the only thing you need is persistency and consistency and a fucking burning desire to achieve. Right? That's all you need, right? Simple as that. It's not fucking rocket science, right? So then take all of your shit and they copy the whole lot, and they'll never use it because they're really not. They're looking for a way out. They're looking for a cheat. They're looking for a shortcut. You ain't getting no shortcuts around here. It's that simple. Yeah. And I put together a course. Anyone done the call to action training that I did where I had like 300 or 400 comments when I gave away like a course of how to grow your business during COVID? I don't know if you've seen it. I do a live training and I interact with it live and show you how to, like, when the comments were coming through and how you like them, reply to them. Anyway, that course, when I launched that during COVID, I knew people would want to take their business online. So I put a call to action post together saying, free course, how to take your PT business online during COVID, fast and free. Comment below to claim. I got hundreds of comments and likes, right? And luckily I did recordings and showed people, because now you guys can see how to obviously do the same thing, right? I had 90 to 110 roughly, I think it was high 90s or something, download that course. I had one person complete it. That person became a client for 2.5 years. All the other people never opened it.
Wait, was that me?
Nah, you didn't. Nah, you didn't come from that. Nah, none of you.
I was maybe one of them that didn't.
This is probably 2.5 years ago. No, like I'd had a few people open it, but you could tell it was like they opened it quickly, had a quick look, and were left, because the percentage completion and ClickFunnels tells you this, right? So I know every single one of you how much you've done on your portals. I can tell because it tells me, right? The completion rates were less than 10%, apart from one guy who went through the whole lot on his own accord, because I just built the course and said, here you go, you do it. Without accountability, they don't take action. They can take everything. I've given people free access to my high ticket portal that you guys have, which has taken all of you guys to, well, I think everyone on this call now is 6 figures, actually, face-to-face wise. All of you guys, right? Same content you guys have used 6 figures. I've given people free access to it. They don't even open it. They don't even open it. Do you know what I'm saying? That just summarizes people's willpower, right? That they need a kick in the ass. So you got to give it to them professionally and politely, and don't be afraid to let them go. Like Phil said, you know, it's that simple.
You'll always get more clients, just like Simon said. You'll always get more clients. I was on the phone last night booking another 2 more consults. I do 2 more potential signups for next week. I'm like, out with the old, in with the new. Just, you got to just bulletproof, like you always say. Just whatever.
You'll always get like clients will always come and go in the fitness industry. Like, you've got to remember, you're dealing with high emotion. Yeah. Like high emotion, people can have a bad day and then they'll just leave, right? That's simple.
So I have a question for you, Phil. What would you say, because I lost 5 clients and I feel a bit defeated, what would you say is the best way to approach it? And also be like, because I think my mom and I, we over deliver sometimes, and we care a lot about our clients.
Big problem.
I know, that's the problem. We over deliver, and I don't want to do that anymore, because I'm tired of feeling taken advantage of when I offer so much of my time and energy towards them. But I'm at the point where there's multiple like clients, I feel like, that are just, I'm like done with them, and I want them out, and I want to bring in new people, but I'm like scared because, you know, we have our income coming in and we're trying to build our business, but at the same time, it's also like, what's the set point where we're like done? Like, I want to be, like you said, out with the old and in with the new, but I guess I'm kind of scared.
Honestly, it just comes down to experience. So you'll start to pick up the signs really easily. The more that it's bad to say, but the more you get these shit people, the more shit people come along, the better experience you're going to get at picking up the signs and determining whether, all right, this person's actually given a shit about their results, you know, or this person just wants to take you for a ride. So it does come down to experience, and you two working together, you'll be able to feed off each other's energy and opinions, and also pick up on who's good or who's not, you know. So but you know, that, that emotional side that you feel when you feel defeated, I guess that's just us being humans, and we are going to have those days. I like to just go and train and bust out some hard weights, and then I'm cool by the end of it. But it's more about it's like Simon will always say, just what's done is done. We just shove it away, and then just work on being positive, and the doors will keep opening as long as we keep staying positive, and more people will just keep coming back through. You're going to go through a lot of shit clients to be able to find those clients that are really going to stay for a very long time. So just keep your head up and know that it is part of business. But of course, always deal with it professionally and positively. And, those clients that you sort of want to give away, we can't do that, unfortunately, but give them your best that you can, but know where to draw the line with them. That's all you need. That's the best way to do it. So those signs, you'll be able to pick up on them soon.
I think as well, Cal, I think like the tap out point is when it starts to jeopardize your brand.
Yeah.
Right. So Phil, that was well said, bro. And I've taught you well.
Thank you.
I taught you this guy well. Like, I can remember, like, it's very, very hard to get to a point where you actually do want to get rid of clients, because most people are wired to make money. Right. And it's that simple. But you guys are like, look, so like you said rightly, Cal, you're like, finances are there, we're trying to grow the business, but it's really visible to see that you are at breaking point or tapping out point, right? So you got to think, what I personally do, and this is what, like, when I let people go myself, that pay on time all the time, it's not about the money or anything, just like you guys, right? It's when it's going to jeopardize my brand, right? And it's going to jeopardize my name. So if I'm renowned for having someone who I can't help, it's like I can't help them. I've just got to let them go. Like, fuck the contract out the way. It doesn't even matter. Like, I'll just let you go because I can't help you. So it's one of those things. But at the same time, for us, we're about to launch marketing now. We have, like I've said to you now, we have to launch this now. We still haven't got to it, right? But you've ordered everything that we need to. We've got to get to work. Now, this strategy, this lead box strategy, it's not something that's going to be like, put it out, get leads. Sometimes it'll take 2 or 3 weeks at least before you generate anything. Jono, you've seen that in the States as well, right? The boxes, sometimes they will, depending on where we put them, it takes time for them to flourish. But when we find a golden nugget box, you'll be completely fine. We have to move quickly. So, and the reason why I want to move quickly with you is so that if you have clients that you don't want to work with out of choice, you show them the door. Because I am blessed to have clients like you guys. I am, but I've worked hard to find you guys, and obviously we all get along well, right? So with that being said, you guys, if you're finding that you're working hard to find golden clients, which will pop out occasionally, you'll have some good ones now, but you want to be able to get rid of the ones you don't want to work with. And when you're propped up by having a lot of other clients, that's when you can do it without focusing on the cash flow, because cash flow is not what we're here for, right? But you kind of do need the cash flow to get yourself off the ground first. So yeah, so we need to work, we need to market.
Yes, thank you.
And
thank you for
communication, pick it up a little bit more. Just pick it up.
I just had a quick question.
Yeah, go for it. No, that's okay. No, go for it.
Because I've been using Trainerize, I think something that I find really annoying is people will go on hold or like put their, go away, be sick or whatever, and then I might not hear them from weeks, but I still have them up on Trainerize. So I feel like I need to like have in my clause somewhere that, okay, just because you're on hold, like you're still paying for your program and everything in that.
Cancel the access, Tay.
Cancel the access. Anytime that they go like that they're sick, cancel it. If debits go on hold, cancel it. I'm not joking. It sounds horrible. You can't trust anything that your clients tell you. It sounds horrible. Now, for you guys, it's different with me because we're working on business. When you're dealing with health and fitness, where people go through a blip, has anyone like ever missed a day of training before? Fucking multiple times, because I can't be asked. That's why. So, right, when people go through those blips, don't give them their training. They could just be like, do you know what? I might just go and see if I can do this session on my own today. Oh, hey, Tay, I'm sick.
See, like, you never know what they're thinking. I'm telling you. So stop the debit, stop everything. So with mine, I have nothing at the moment on my trainer eyes. Now, if I go and add a workout in, it's gone. All my workouts from my coach are gone, right? Because I'm not working with my coach at the moment because I don't need him anymore. I hit my goal and I want to try and do it myself. Simple as that. But if I had it all, why would, because I'm the type of person that takes action like you guys. If you give me all the fucking plans, I'm never going to go back to it. But right now I'm trying to prove to myself that I don't need the plans and that I can follow everything anyway, so that I don't need to go back to him. Because like Charmaine coaches and like Alex coaches online, the goal is so that you never need a coach again, right? So don't give them, because again, with like Phil just said, ironically, Tay, this girl said she's not using the portal, 87 or 78% complete. That shows that she wants all of his information and she see you later, right? Stop it. Don't give too much. And again, same with you, Cal and Suzanne. I think it's a great trait to have, is to give so much, but don't over deliver to an extent where you're giving, you're caring more than what your clients care about themselves. That's the problem. That's the tipping point. Like, I give you guys this time now, hour and a half, right? Why? Because I fucking love you all. And I can see the people that are here. I know for a fact Tom Rose budgets this time in her calendar on Wednesdays, right? I know that Tay does it as well. I know that obviously Michael, who was the first here and probably the last to leave, you budget the fucking time. Kel and Suzanne, you're 100% success rate with being on these calls. I'm not going until someone wants to leave. Do you know what I mean? Why? Because you deserve that energy from me. And I'm putting it into you because you're the ones that are worth it. Your clients that aren't worth it, don't keep pushing, because what you end up doing is pushing them out the fucking door and they'll quit after you've then given them everything. There's no point doing that, you know? So
that helps us, Simon, because we definitely over deliver, thinking that because we
Being
really
nice
care,
and
we're
caring.
we're good, we're this, and it's like, no.
nah,
They take it.
That's
do.
the bottom line.
I
If they don't
honestly
care, then
have
why should we care
one
that much?
client that, now that we're doing the automatic payment method, is going to save my butt.
Yeah.
But before, I had one client that would pay like when she was supposed to. One. And that means I had 14 other clients that didn't give a shit. So it really frustrates me. And now it's funny because we're like going through this last week where, you know, certain clients are like, oh, I can't do this, or oh, my neck hurts.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell do you think we freaking do? Like, we train you, we take care of you. We know that you have certain issues and that we're trying to fix that, but it's almost like they don't even make sense half the time.
yeah. I think this is stuff I've heard so many times, and I'm just thinking out loud here. Like, when you've come on board, you've had your experience working with other coaches and you've had experience up until this current day of being a PT, right? Over time, you start to dwindle out those clients because of the subconscious level of respect that you begin to develop for yourself, which means you no longer tolerate those types of clients. And this is what the whole thing has kind of evolved around, right? So what you'll actually then find is you will start attracting only clients that are relative to your level, right? You girls haven't gone through yet enough experience to start raising the bar up of what you provide to then have that level of increased belief so that you start attracting those level of clients that you want. Like, a lot of people always say to me, like, yeah, but I just want athletes. Fucking, oh, wouldn't it be great? It would be great, wouldn't it? Right? No, man, come on. Like, you're going to have to go through, every trainer, you've got to go through shit after shit after shit. You got to go through the shit to get to the goal, right? That's where the saying comes from. Again, watch that law of attraction, the secret. It all tells you it's a game. Life is a game. Business is a game. If you're bulletproof to it and you've got a thick skin, you just really win. It's all you do is win, right? But it takes a long time to get to that level, right? So you just keep going through. But this chat today for you girls especially has been really, really good, really important, because it's going to help you just raise that awareness, right? Of, okay, you're someone, ironically, who was one of the ones who didn't used to pay you, because that's what most people, right? Or on time, right? And now you're starting to notice little patterns that we've all spoken about here. and then you go, nah, see you later. That's not worth it. So then you need to restrict what you give them. Yeah. And don't get taken advantage of. There's a reason why, guys, I unlock your portal for you. Because why? Otherwise, a lot of people, I've had it, I've been there and done it. I've coached hundreds of PTs, literally. And I don't say that, it's not a spiel. I fucking have. I've had coaches that have come in, taken the portal, bye Simon, see you later. I've had portal people who paid $1,500 and I got them to 6 figures. So they were making $2,000 a week. They paid $15 total and then said, see you later, bro. Bye, see you later. I've just changed their fucking life. Their life. You think, what level of care do you think they have for me? Zero, nothing, nada. They don't care. They don't have nothing. But I learned from that. And that's why now I put my energy into the people who I know want it the most. And the people who don't quit, the people who keep going, they're the people who end up winning. When that person there, they ironically quit the industry when they crash and burn, because they realize that when they start going backwards and they didn't continue marketing, like we were talking about with Tom Rose at the start of this call, that they just crash. And then, like I said, ironically, Tom Rose, and they quit. It's because they didn't have me. Take my content, the content can get you to 6 figures. If you implement it, well done. But think that you've completed the game when you get to that level. Are you fucking kidding me? You don't even have any, no idea. Like, no idea. So yeah, just be careful with what you give away. Too much value is not always good. Questions, anyone else? We're on a hot streak here. But I think we're good, yeah? We good? I've got to make my accountant's meeting next. Charmaine? Yeah. Who else want Tay? Are you Tay? Yeah, Tom Rose and Jack. That's right. Charmaine, Jack, Tom Rose. Tay, you're all good with your accountant? For now. Yeah, for now. Anyway, that's fine. Tane, Michael, you're sweet. Tane, you good with accountant? Sweet. Alex, unfortunately, can't help you. And same with the girls US. Okay, I'll let you guys know how that goes in a bit. Apart from that, I love you all. That was a fucking awesome seminar. That I'm actually really glad I didn't have any topic and we just came and Q&A'd it. So much love to all of you guys. I'll upload this one. It will be done by tomorrow morning, latest as always. And with that being said, peace and love, and I'll speak to you soon. Yeah. Ciao.